So on Thanksgiving Day, while we were stuffing our faces, watching football, and arguing with our uncle that believes in wild conspiracy theories, and personal to me while I was also celebrating my birthday, a huge piece of highly speculative news came out that took over the internet by storm. And it was a piece of news that, if true, could without a doubt ruin the career of a basketball player who is considered to be a franchise cornerstone of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And while I did bring you guys a video on that day right after I blew the candles out on my birthday cake, today we got a huge update on the situation from more official sources. In addition to Josh Giddey and the head coach of the OKC Thunder acknowledging the situation. So before we get to the content, there's a good chance this video gets demonetized. So if you could just support the channel by leaving a like, considering subscribing, and turning on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all of that out of the way, cue the intro. For the last month and a half, I have plugged in the same freaking ad in each and every video to remind you guys that every single time PrizePicks does this, we end up making money. The last time it was with a Steph Curry free square. This time, it's for Thanksgiving, so we have a few days to lock this in. All Christian McCaffrey needs is 1 yard, which he's gonna get a yard in order for his square to convert, which means we only need to get 1 pick right in order to 3x our money, or 2 picks right to potentially 5x our money. I'm gonna post my picks onto my Instagram at TheFlightMike, and make sure you use my promo code microphone to double your deposit up to $100 when you join PrizePicks. It's worth a shot because historically we have a great win percentage on this. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? So for those of you who don't know who Josh Giddey is, he is a 21-year-old basketball player that was selected with the 6th overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft, which means this guy was really freaking good when he tried to enter into the NBA, to the point where the Thunder spent a high draft pick on him. If you ask OKC Thunder fans, he's viewed as a developmental project type player that has shown great flashes so far in the NBA, but still has a little ways to go to become a potential perennial all-star or a role player. Either way, he's considered to be very good at the game of basketball, and he makes millions of dollars to play the game of basketball. And on Thanksgiving Day, we covered what I believe was one of the wildest stories that I've ever covered in my entire career. I mean, the twists and turns of this particular story is just unfathomable. So the very first thing we saw was this clip of Josh Giddey showing love to his girlfriend's brother.
Trent, what's up, man? It's Josh. Be with your beautiful sister. Good luck for your season. You're going to Sacramento soon for a game, so all the best of luck. We're going to come up and watch you. Take care of business.
And then we also got this clip of Josh Giddey once again saying that he's going to take this girl back to his place.
Trent, what's up, my man? We're at the front of the club. Me and my girl about to head back to mine.
Before we got this image and this image, which I think is the craziest image of all. Any girl that takes a picture and posts just anyone onto their Snapchat story or sends that as a Snapchat, I just think that's crazy. It's definitely a new generation out there. But obviously the big problem with this situation is the fact that Josh Giddey was with an underage girl, at least allegedly. The original tweet saying that this is disgusting and this man needs to be punished. We can't let this go under the surface any longer. This needs to be seen, and the girl is a junior in high school. From that point on, the story gets a little weird, but that didn't stop the internet from making copious amounts of memes on this situation. Remember when Josh Giddey saw them children sitting courtside and turned into 2003 Kobe Bryant? Is one of the craziest tweets that I think I've ever seen. They literally made a montage of Josh Giddey just because, I mean, you guys could put it together. And the craziest part is this is when Josh Giddey broke the record for having the youngest triple-double in NBA history, which is a remarkable achievement to say the least. Someone posted the Patrick Beverly meme of him celebrating when he beat the Los Angeles Clippers in the play-in tournament. It's like Josh Giddey when the OKC Thunder tell them that they're sending him to the minor league. But of course, whenever someone gets into some trouble or gets into a situation like this, people will go and do a deep dive into their past and try to dig up some skeletons in their closet. And I guess in this particular case, they found a lot of cringy TikToks of Josh Giddey. And he said it's funny because he's making this about a underage girl, potentially.
I hate him! I hate him! I feel like I'm never gonna fuck up.
And I think this might be my favorite one just because I'm a Star Wars fan.
A nigga like me, man, I love the game. I love the hustle, man. A nigga like me, man, I love the game. I love the hustle, man.
And then, of course, there's people saying whenever they bet the under 16.5 for Josh Giddey.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Now, obviously, the problem with this is typically the age of consent is usually the age of 18. People are also calling him out because there's allegedly a 5-year difference between the two. But the main issue that we had yesterday about this situation is the fact that there's a lot of gray area in the story. There's some people that believe that she's 17. There's some people that believe she's 15. And probably the one thing that nobody is talking about is Josh Giddey was born in Melbourne, Australia, where the age of consent is 16, and he currently plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder, where the age of consent is 16. So this was all news to me, and it was the first time I learned anything about it yesterday, but it definitely makes this situation a lot more complicated than what you would initially think from the moment you read this story. The major update with this story is the fact that we got responses from Josh Giddey, in addition to the head coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and Tim McMahon and Shams Charania told us what the NBA is planning to do, which in my opinion makes this whole highly speculative viral rumor very legitimate, which means that this is definitely something that is developing. So according to Shams Charania, the NBA is looking into the allegations of Josh Giddey having an inappropriate relationship with a minor that have emerged via social media, according to league spokesman Mike Bass. This was echoed by Tim McMahon, who also said that the league is looking into allegations that Thunder guard Josh Giddey has been involved in an improper relationship with an underage girl. Now, Josh Giddey had this to say when he was asked about the situation during practice.
Over the past couple of days, there was some pretty serious allegations. I know nothing is concrete there, but is there anything you can say in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, I understand the question, obviously, but, there's no further comment right now.
And then Mark Daignault, which I definitely butchered, but the head coach of the OKC Thunder had this to say about the situation.
Anything accurate, there's a potential distraction with Josh just in terms of a moment viral online, social media. Do you deal with that in any way? Do you concern yourself with whether that's a distraction?
Personal matter, and I have no comment on it. And that'll be my answer on anything related.
So as I was going through my comments yesterday, which by the way, incredible comment section. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. It really meant the world to me to get a lot of positive support and positive comments on that day. And I want you all to know that you all mean the world to me. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. But one of the comments that I received as I was going through the comment section is honestly something that made a lot of sense to me, where someone said we should change the way that we talk about this underage thing. Where I live, 15 is the legal age for consent. Meanwhile, just because an arbitrary border is placed at a higher age by the law in your country, you keep calling it disgusting, nasty, him a freak, etc. This is out of place. Let's call it illegal. Let's say that he needs to be punished because he broke the law. But before jumping to all those other conclusions, please think about the situation itself. If she's 17, it's nasty. If she's 18, it's cool. If it's in the US, it's disgusting. If it's in Europe, it's cool. Let's be a little bit more nuanced and let's not be sheep. And honestly, he makes a very legitimate point. I originally thought that the age of consent was 18 in each and every state in the United States, which means my bachelor's in history in UCLA literally did nothing for me because I should have known that. But at the end of the day, it's going to be very interesting to see how the NBA punishes this. Because if Josh Giddey didn't break the law, then everything should be fine. But there's a lot of holes that need to be filled before we could come to that conclusion ourselves. And believe me, as more information comes out, even the slightest bit of information, I'll make sure that I bring you guys an update onto the situation. For now, it seems like Josh Giddey is clear to continue playing with the OKC Thunder. I expect the NBA to conclude its investigation within the next couple of days, and by then, we'll have an update for you guys on this channel. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about this situation? I personally think it is one of the most bizarre cases I've ever covered. I never thought that we'd get to a point where there's a dispute about the age of consent in the United States, and I think that was a twist that I wasn't anticipating originally. Needless to say, the story is crazy, and I'd like to know what you guys think about all this. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.